You're right. The stock is down about 4.5% as we speak, even though the company has approved a follow-on public offer. Now, this follow-on public offer goes live on April 20. April 20. Just a second. Next week, it goes live next week, and it opens on April 18 and closes on April 22. There are also going to be anchor bids, and that we'll see on April 16. Now, just to give you an idea, this is an 18,000 crore FPO. The promoters have already infused, or the board has approved the infusion of about 2,075 crore rupees. We looked at the equity dilution for this. For the FPO price, it's the cap for that is 11 rupees a piece, and the floor price is 10 rupees, which is also the face value of the share. However, promoters infused equity at a higher price, at a premium of 14.87 a piece. Now, we looked at the equity dilution based on these numbers, and it comes out that the dilution on an overall basis will be around 26%. So that's a massive dilution. Promoters' stake, however, is going to stay the same at around 10% because they're infusing capital as well, and at a higher price as well. So it's a positive in a sense for the shareholders because they're getting more money. But if you look at the government, which is the biggest shareholder in the company, their stake is going to come down from 33% to 24%. But the question remains, should you buy into this FPO? Because if you're holding whatever shares you're currently holding, there's going to be a dilution in that up to 26%. And to talk more about this, let me introduce you to the guests for today. We have Sameer Dalal of Natarajan & Sons and Osho Krishnan of Angel One. Welcome to both of you, and thanks for joining us today. Sameer, lots has been talked about Vodafone Idea FPO, and finally it has come out with an FPO. Now, the sources have told NETV Profit, we broke the story on Wednesday, that there is some investor interest in this as well. The company's plans to utilize these funds is towards infrastructure, so essentially expansion of 4G and setting up of 5G services. They're also giving certain targets like increasing of revenue from 40,000 to 75,000 crores by FY26. Now, looking at overall picture, how are you viewing this from a longer term perspective?
So for Vodafone, this is something that is very important that they do because they're burning through capital and they're running short of it and they're not able to compete in the markets. Look, when you have everyone else moving to 5G services and trying to improve their speeds and things like that, Vodafone has been falling back on that. Of course, the transition to 5G has not been as fast maybe as people thought, but it will pick up steam. So Vodafone desperately needs that. Now, if it comes to shareholders, if you ask me, I'm not very keen on for putting money into Vodafone, and I wasn't even back in the day. No doubt the stock has given a superb rally. It went up all the way from 7 all the way to 14 or 15, and now it's back down to, of course, 12.5 or. But my simple problem with Vodafone remains is that, look, you're losing subscribers to your competitors because you're slightly higher prices and you're not able to compete. Secondly, also, the company continues to lose money, like you're making losses. Now, this 20,000 crores will definitely help them for the time being, but if I'm a shareholder, I'm looking at where am I going to make money at the end of the day when I put this kind of money into the system. I mean, into Vodafone as a company, if you're going to continue to make losses. So I don't see the near-term upside. Maybe over the next 2 years, when they're able to turn around their operations, if they're able to turn around their operations, then we can look at it. But at this point of time, I'm not very convinced that I would want to be a shareholder in the company. So I'm not for it, but Vodafone desperately requires it.
Okay, that's interesting. So, but then going forward as well, suppose you're not an investor and you're looking at the telecom space as a whole. Since we're talking about Vodafone Idea, what would you put your money in? Would you invest in a telecom company at this stage, or would you avoid?
So I do like telecom companies from the long-term point of view because at the end of the day, the kind of digital push that is coming, the things that are moving online. So without telecom, there is going to be no future, right? So we need it. Now, the beauty of the play is that there are basically 4 players remaining. Reliance, that's Jio, Bharti Airtel, Vodafone, and BSNL. Now, BSNL, of course, unlisted, you can't really look at it. So the only other way to probably look at it is through the Jio and the Bharti investment. I mean, Jio and Bharti. So for me, the way I would like to play it is probably go through the Jio because what they have done is been able to become the largest player in the space. They still have the lowest pricing. No doubt Bharti is also a play which caters to international markets. You have the Africa operation. So as the telecom penetration there also continues to increase, I'm sure Bharti will do well from that angle as well. They'll probably be able to increase their return ratios and profitability and the access so on. Of course, there's Bharti Hexacom that's listed today. Of course, that's an option, but I haven't studied in great detail, so I don't want to get into the details of that. But the way I would play it is probably buy Reliance. But the problem with buying Reliance at this point of time is you're buying a lot of the other operations also. And the valuations for Reliance for the retail business and also for the oil to gas business, I'm not too comfortable at this point. The stock has seen a good run up. So probably in the near term, I would not look to put any money there. But yes, I am very, very positive on this telecom space. So we will have to look at opportunities. We do have Reliance holdings already. So we may not add, but we need not sell it either. But Reliance would probably be the way I would play the telecom space for the next 2 years.